Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Okay, welcome back, and delighted to have back in the studio with us today Treva Kuyper. She is one of the co-leaders of the Loft, the ministry that reaches out to young girls from 8th grade to 12th grade, impacting their lives, challenging them, getting them on the right path. And I think one of the great ministries of Southern Oregon. So good to see you. How's it going?
It's going good.
So how far are you into it now?
We're about halfway in. Well, a little less than halfway. We go all the way through till June. June. Yeah.
All right. And you take a variety of topics.
Yes.
What was your one last go around?
It was called Mean Girls. So we talked about bullying and toxic relationships.
How'd it go?
It went really well. It went really well. Afterwards, I had one of the teenagers come to me and just say that she's going to make some changes in her life and the way that she treats others, and that she learned a lot that night. So that was wonderful.
Any victims of bullying?
Yeah. We had some girls that, had some tears, and maybe not currently right now, but maybe when they were in elementary school, had some things happen, and they were able to have encouragement in how to walk away from that, walk through that, and be healed by that.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a great topic.
All right, now next week, or this coming weekend.
This Sunday.
Family dynamics. By the way, you can join this anywhere along the line, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you have a young girl between 8th grade and 12th grade, just get over to the Community Bible Church there in Central Point, Sunday evenings at
5:30.
5:30.
Yes, 5:30 to 8:30. Yep, and dinner. And this Sunday I'm excited because we're celebrating a little bit of Christmas.
Oh.
We're going to have a mini Christmas dinner. We're going to give away some gifts. And last December, if you remember, we were iced out, so we had to cancel.
Yeah, that's right.
So we get to celebrate Christmas with the girls. We'll have a tree up, and we're going to talk about cookie cutter lives. How do they live in their normal? And so family dynamics is what we're talking about this Sunday.
Family dynamics. Not every family is a happy one.
No, and there is no two families the same.
Really?
And I think, yes. And I think that the girls somehow believe...
At the end of the day, we're all dysfunctional.
We are. We're just human, right?
Yeah,
we all have our issues. And I think that the girls tend to focus so inward and so inside their own home and think that maybe there's something wrong with them if their family's not this way or that way, or maybe what they see on television. And we want to show them that, hey, whatever your normal is, with hope and encouragement and truth, you can walk through that in victory.
Wow. Blended families. I'm sure you talk about it.
Yes.
And the percentages today now are almost the norm, isn't it?
I
mean, isn't there more blended than there are?
Absolutely.
52% or something like that?
Absolutely. And, I've shared with you before that I'm a child of 4 divorces and 5 marriages. And
did you hear that, folks? 4 divorces and 5 marriages. My stars. And you survived.
Absolutely. But when I was growing up, I thought that that was normal. The friends that I had who had parents that were still married, I thought that that was abnormal. And actually, that is pretty true. I mean, when you look at families nowadays, a blended family, a split family, a divorced family is more common than the families that stay married and have that stable home.
You said something there, it's the key. You thought that was normal.
I did.
And so children that are being raised in a broken home or a blended home, that's normal to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how do they live in that?
So how does it impact them? How did it impact you? What was your hardest thing to deal with?
I think for me it was, with the divorces, it was the feeling of abandonment. People would leave for no reason, in my perspective, because it was my parents' issue. So whatever step parents I had, whatever affairs were going on, it was the parents' issues that were happening, but I didn't know what those issues were. So I internalized it, that it became my issue. And I just watched people walk out the door and not have a reason and not knowing what happened. And that becomes part of my identity, or that's what happened when I was younger.
How could you possibly feel secure?
I didn't feel secure, and I think that's why my heart is so for these girls that don't have that stability and don't feel secure in their family. Because you don't know, well, if I do this, this, and this, are they still going to leave? Does them leaving mean they don't love me? All of those kinds of situations. And children and teenagers, they look to adults as their example. You know, and so however they're led, however I was led, is how I become, unless I make a choice to be different.
I just don't know if we understand the depth of the impact of this on a young person.
It's huge.
You know, they can't feel secure. They don't know if they're the reason why this happened. So they probably, in a subconscious way, blame themselves. Right? I mean, you carried the guilt of it.
Absolutely. And then what it does is it comes out in all different kind of hurtful ways to ourselves. So then maybe, like for me, I ended up having all these relationships with boys, sleeping around. I got pregnant when I was 19. I had an abortion. I mean, I went down this path of trying so desperately to have a man love me. That was my thing, because every man left. So I thought, well, if I just gave them everything, then maybe I would be loved. And it wasn't until the Lord Jesus got hold of my life to say, no, you're worthy. I made you for more than this. I made you for more than this, and I love you. And when he became my God, my Father, my friend, my love, then I didn't need to seek after all of those guys for that.
How old were you then when that happened?
I was 21 when the Lord grabbed hold of me.
So all through your teenage, growing up, hormonal, skyrocketing years.
Yes. Oh, I was a mess. I was a mess. And these girls, a lot of them, they're a mess. And where some of them sleep around, I mean, kids are having sex when they're in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, all kinds of young ages, this crazy stuff that's going on. But some of the girls, they have eating disorders. They're cutting. That's why we even began the Loft, was to have a place once a month where they can come and they can have truth poured into them, have encouragement, have hope. If their home life is horrible or they're not connecting with their parents, maybe it's a Christian home and a home where they go to church. Well, no matter what the home is, there's conflict. So if they become hopeless, they act out in all of these destructive ways. But if we give them hope, if we give them people in their lives that understand and love them and will walk alongside them, then maybe they'll have a little bit more hope.
Okay, we just touched on some of the really deep issues, and I'm assuming now, Sunday night, this is what you take in even more depth.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can't help but think these girls would squirm if their norm is abnormal to a non-broken home. It's hard for us to wrap our heads around that. But on the other hand, how do you get them to consider Christ a male figure? Is their answer?
Oh, it's so hard. They, whatever relationship they have with their dad, they will then have that define their relationship with God the Father. It's what we do. And for little girls, teenage girls, adult women, that's what we do.
How did you know that Jesus wasn't going to leave you? Be man number 6.
Well, I'm 41, and so it's been 20 years of the Lord showing me over and over and over again that he's not going to leave me. I don't think that when I was 21, all of a sudden a light switch went on and I thought, he's not ever going to leave me. He kept showing me that over, even recently.
Really?
God and I just went through a thing recently where he had to really grab hold of me.
I thought you had your act together.
Yeah, I do. But there's those little things that the enemy comes in and says, but what if?
What if, yeah.
But what if? And God always comes back and says, oh, but I'll never leave you. My word says so. And he shows us in tangible ways. What God did for me is he gave me a husband that is godly and strong and is a rock and is what I say is Christ in the flesh for me.
Of course, that's the
role.
For me,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the role.
And that's who God gave me. And so through the relationship with my husband, God has shown me that he will never leave me, no matter what mistakes I make. And I try to share my story with the girls that if you hold on and you don't quit, and you ask the Lord into your life as your Savior, he will show himself faithful.
Well, let me say to those listening and watching today, this ministry is unbelievable, and it's impacting young girls at the level that is real, very real. So family dynamics, it's a huge topic. So if you have a young girl between 8th grade and 12th grade, that's what it's designed to do. Because, boy, you can catch them there. You can pretty much turn their life around. It'll be at the Community Bible Church in Central Point, 5:30 Sunday. It includes a meal.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Absolutely. Just show up. The girls can bring their friends.
Bring their friends.
Absolutely. 5:30 to 8:30 this Sunday night.
Thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
You're a living testimony of something that I have said all my years on radio and television. Whatever God saves you from or brings you through, He turns around and makes you a minister too.
Yes, He
right?
does. Amen. Yes, He does.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we'll be right back.